everyone, welcome back to the C programming tutorials. These tutorials are brought to you by Stdlib Technologies. In the previous video, we created our first C program like this, which printed a simple hello world in an IDE known as code blocks. I have also explained to you all that how can you actually install the IDE for yourself in your PC. But if you are looking for some other compilation processes, then you can go to the Stdlib website and there you will find Z compiler, which will help you to do the same thing. And it works not only with the C language but with a bunch of other languages like Python, C++, Scala, etc. So in this video, I'm going to explain to you that what is the C program, what are the different things that we have written in this program and what is its meaning. So let us start with the first line, which is nothing but a hash include stdio.h. Now as you can see that the first two lines actually are both starting with a hash symbol. So the hash symbol in C is known as the Preprocessor Directive. It is used to include some of the things. With the help of the include keyword, whenever we use this include keyword along with a hash symbol, then what happens is it becomes a statement that is used to include some files into our C program, and these files are known as header files. Here we have included two header files, that is stdio.h and stdlib.h. This extension .h makes sure that these files are actually header files. Now what is the importance of including a header file in our program? Well, the importance is that the header files contain the code of numerous things which we can use in our program. For example, here we have used printf. We do not know what printf means, but we know its function, that is, whatever we write inside the double quotes in printf, it would be printed on the screen. So this is something that printf does. But the rules which this function printf follows to perform this task are actually defined in stdio.h header file. So all the functions that are valid in C are actually defined in the header files, and we can simply use them instead of writing all the code to just specify that what thing they are going to do. Similarly, there is another header file that is known as stdlib.h. It also includes some of the functions or some of the procedures and some of the keywords that are used to perform a particular task. These two lines have a special meaning to C, that is why they are colored in green color in our code blocks IDE. And this is another advantage of having an IDE. You are able to classify the different types of statements for yourself, and you would be able to visually see that which kind of statements are of which type. Now let us jump to the fourth line. This is void main and two parentheses, opening and closing parenthesis. So whenever there is this parenthesis sign, it means that whatever it is written over here is the name of the function. Now over here we mean that main is a function, and the reason why main is taken as a function, because the C compiler always starts its compilation whenever it encounters a main. Main is the starting point of every C program. So whatever you do, whenever you write a C program, these two lines are mandatory, and then creating a main function is mandatory. Void written over here, however, is optional. Void actually is a keyword. As you can see that it is colored in blue color instead of the general black color. So it means that it is a keyword. A keyword has a predefined meaning to C. Now whenever we are writing void, C knows that we are not going to return anything from this function. Now more about functions we would be learning in the later on videos, but for now you can just remember one thing, that void main means that main is the starting point of the program. These parentheses means that main is a function, and void means that this main function is not going to return anything. Then we have braces. These braces constitute the body of the function. Whenever you are trying to write the code in the function, you must include it within these braces to make sure that all the statements are grouped together as the body of the function. Now here you can see that this collapsing sign is by default present by the IDE. You can just collapse this or you can just expand it. Within these braces, you can write any of these statements, valid C statements, and these statements constitute the body of the C program. Here we have written printf. So printf is another function. How do we know? We know because it is followed by a pair of parentheses. So yes, printf is also a function in C. And then we have passed something, a string called as hello world. So this string is an argument for the function printf. Again, this argument thing we will be explaining later on in detail, but right now you can accept the simple thing that whatever a function accepts, whatever value a function accepts, is known as an argument. Now, an interesting thing about printf is that it can accept any type of argument. Like right now it is accepting hello world. So hello world is kind of a string output, that is, it is a combination of characters in C. But what if we wanted to print a number instead of a message in C? Then also we are going to use the printf function, because we know that printf function is what is used to print anything on the keyboard or on the console. So for that purpose, what we can do is simply press an enter sign and again write this printf function. Here you can see that we are accepting this printf in the form of int. So if we just write the code. So for int or printing out any of the integer values, then what we can do is we have to just use within double quotes this kind of a symbol, mod d, and then put a comma, and then we can simply write an integer value. Suppose I want to print 54. Then close this statement with a semicolon. Semicolon in C is just like a full stop in an English language. Whenever you want to end a sentence in English, you just put a full stop. So semicolon is full stop for C. Now what is the expected output? Hello world 54. Okay. So let us just run this code and see what happens. Actually, it is still giving us hello world. The reason being we have not built the project. So whenever you have made any changes in your project, you need to first build it to incorporate those changes. So for that you can just go to this build option. Here is it, build option, or you can use its shortcut, that is Control F9. You need to first build your project. And then when it is built, you can see over here that you are getting a message, build finished, and there is no error. Okay. Now you can just run your project and you will see the output has changed. Hello world, exclamation mark, and 54. So this was about printing the values. What if you want to accept some of the values from the user? If you want to accept a simple name from the user, so you need to pass a message. We can just omit these two statements by just clearing them off. First of all, I want the user to just given with a message, please enter your name, like this. And then I want the user to enter his name. So to accept the user entry, we have another function that is known as the Scanf function. So that is the Scanf function. We can accept the user entry, or instead of name we can simply do it with the age because it is simpler. So I'm just going to go with age. So that is going to be mod d again. This percent sign is also called mod in C. Then you can put a comma and accept the value in a variable known as age. and then you can just printf the value of age. Your age is, and then again mod d, and you can put a comma and age like this. Then you need to declare age, since we are accepting an integer value in it, so let us declare just age and initialize it with 0 like this. Okay, now we are going to run this program, but first we need to build it. So this kind of a sign is used for building up the program, and then you can just run it. Please enter your age. You can just enter your age. Suppose I enter 32. So I get the answer, your age is 32. This is how you can actually accept the input from the user, and you can just display it in the form of the output. Age over here is an integer variable, which means that it will only accept the integer values. Scanf function is used to accept the values from the user. Mod d makes sure that we are actually accepting integer values. This AND age is used to refer to the fact that whatever value you are entering must be stored in the age variable, and then we are printing the value of this age variable with a particular message that your age is, and with the help of mod d, that is wherever this mod d is written, the value of age would be replaced over here. So this is a very simple C program in which you have learned a lot about like header files, preprocessor directives, input function, output function, etc. That is all for today's video.